Alright, hey guys, Adam Blue with BlueGamer.net, and this video will be a comparison of the DualShock 4 and the Xbox One. Now this is very disorienting because I am looking at myself doing this so I can match up what I'm trying to show you, but just bear with me. So when it comes to the two controllers, let me start by saying I am a huge fan of the Xbox 360 controller. This one looks a bit different. I actually modified it and added the analog sticks from the later version of the 360 pad that was sent out. I think the one with the D-pad thingy, whatever, you know, the one that changed. I don't know, whatever that was about. I just like how the thumbsticks, the top of the thumbsticks go in. So when you have your thumb on there, you have a grip. They can still slide, but all in all, better than the DualShock 3. The DualShock 3, what were they, concave, convex, whatever, 50-50 chance of getting that word right, but whichever one it is. But they sat up like the tops of mushrooms, and they would just slide off. And then the shape of the grip, I don't even have a DualShock 3 controller anymore, but I just couldn't stand those. I really couldn't. So I'm glad about what Sony did with the DualShock 4. So looking at the DualShock 4, take a look at it. It looks really nice. You can see how they kind of went ahead with that. It goes in sort of on the tops of the analog thumbsticks. You can kind of barely see that oh my god, if I can even imagine, it is raised right here. It's kind of strange. It goes in and then it comes back up, so it's not exactly in like I would prefer, because it does stick up and it does slip. So as I'm playing a game, first-person shooter, after some time my thumbs are kind of slipping because it's just always going in. So no matter what, your finger or your thumb is going across a surface. I don't know how to explain it. But it's a real thing that's happening. I'm not just making it up. I guess I'm starting off with the only complaint, because other than that, this controller is damn near perfect. So, look at this. Does that look familiar? Why, yes, indeed, it does. It looks just like the back of the 360 controller. They made the grips like it was on the 360. You look at it, you think, oh, the analog sticks are still down here at the bottom, but it doesn't matter because it feels like you're holding a 360 controller. So when you're holding it, and I don't know how the heck I'm going to show you guys this. When you're holding it and your thumb's on here, it's not like the DualShock 3 where your thumbs were in and you're holding a cat paw. I mean, and what did I do to accidentally turn on my PS4? I just may have. Anyway, the thumbsticks are further apart. They're kind of closer to the grips, so it's like holding a 360 gamepad. They really did a good job with that. It feels good. It's bigger yet smaller in the grips. It feels like a 360, but more evolved. They're look at the 360 grips. Let's take that further. And then the texture. I don't know if you could tell there's a texture. You kind of can, but this helps with the gripping. It really does. It's not rubberized. It's just the plastic, but it really helps give that solid grip. Now let's look at the triggers. So when I first felt the triggers, I wasn't too crazy about it. It just didn't feel like an Xbox 360 trigger, so I was like, you know what, I'll have to get used to it. But over some time, after fiddling with it for so much, it's like it feels so natural. You know how far you have to press to do what you need to in a game. It becomes second nature. You don't even think about having to press. Now, over time, it could change. With the 360 trigger, it always felt like you could feel that spring in there. With this, you kind of don't. It's really well done. I mean, Sony is known for hardware, so it's not a surprise that if they put their minds to it, they can get it right. We've also got the touchpad, which is, I mean, it's not used that much. It's a giant button, so because select is now share, you can use this as kind of like another button. So you can press this to pull up a map, press this to pull up your game stats like in Call of Duty. And then fiddle around with this. So in Black Flag, Assassin's Creed 4, I can look around on the map. I can zoom out, zoom in. It's pretty neat. I will say, actually, from playing Killzone Shadowfall, that by swiping, it's almost like 4 additional buttons. I want to choose my little dude, the owl or whatever, to do a certain thingy. It's great. And then the D-pad. I mean, Sony's always, yeah, it's blue now. It's definitely on doing something. I hope I'm not erasing my game. But the D-pad is just awesome. It's not as good as the Vita. The Vita D-pad is so excellent, but this is still great. I wish I was playing Killer Instinct with this, because the Xbox One gamepad, not so much. Buttons are great. These seem like they're in an odd place, but it makes it easy for your thumbs to just reach. I mean, you can just go up here and press them, and it's great. I mean, this is a really good controller. It's got the audio input 3.5. You can actually listen to the audio from the game and not just chat audio. And then also what's really awesome is, no, not the light, even though it's probably blinding you, but it is this micro USB for charging. No need for batteries. Okay? That is the DualShock 4 from the PS4. Now onto the Xbox One controller. Very strange what Microsoft did here. You hold the grips, and it does not feel like a 360 controller. It almost does, but something feels off. And I was looking closely at it, and it might be hard to tell, but you see this ridge right here? Right after that, the grips seem to kind of come in more, and they're not as rounded anymore. So that rounded bulbousness that you could see here from the 360 pad is no longer there with the Xbox One pad. So after a long time, you can kind of feel this like ridge where it kind of dips in, and it's not comfortable. And this is playing for a while. You can kind of feel down here, it just kind of sticks into you, and it's uncomfortable. Another weird thing too, and this, I don't know if this is to fit in the rumble motors, and I'll get to that in a second, but so you've got these triggers here that they're bigger, maybe so it's easier to reach from here. I don't know if that's the point, but unfortunately because of that, you barely have to like tap it, and I was playing Dead Rising, I would accidentally throw my items because just where they're sit at. It's just easy to accidentally press it. I think Killer Instinct, I accidentally, kicked, ruined my combo. Whatever. I mean, I'll get used to it. The one thing that I really like about this controller, love, is the tops of the thumbsticks, okay? The tops. They go in completely. And not only do they go in completely, but they have this crazy amazing texture that I would compare to the texture of the backs of the DualShock 4, except this is more rubberized. But I can actually put my thumbs in, and then you can see, if I can show you, here how it goes in, and my thumbs sit on here. It almost creates a suction, because the whole surface area of my thumb is consuming the concave, convex, 50-50, it's either one, of the thumbsticks. So when I put my thumbs on here, they stick. They do not move around. There's a slight suction that pulls them in, and that's what makes this controller awesome. D-pad, it's better. I don't know if you can hear that clicking. So what's disappointing about that is, after a lot of use with this becomes a matter of clicking a button, not pressing a button. It's like, I don't know how to explain the time it takes when you're registering that you're pressing the button, but it's like now you're playing, when you're pressing the D-pad, you're looking for that click instead of just a press. Whereas on the DualShock 4, it's like you're pressing the button. Here you're like clicking it. And I don't really know how to explain it, but as I was playing Killer Instinct, pulling off moves, I felt too much like I had to worry about clicking the button in rather than pressing it. A few other things I was going to know. Oh yeah, so the analog sticks, they seem pretty bad on here. There's a real bad tension. They're raised up a bit too high. On the DualShock 4, not only are they a little lower, but the tension is perfect on here. I'm not good at Call of Duty, and lately I've been sniping, and I'm not a sniper, but I can just pull it off. The aiming on this, I could make the smallest movements, and just the sensitivity is just right and just perfect. This, I don't think they put a lot into it. Something else I want to bring up, it's funny, I was talking to Sean right before I started this video, and he was telling me it feels like a Fisher-Price controller, and it does. It's, I don't know if you can hear that, but it's like a plastic, and it's almost like you can kind of feel that it's like not a solid piece. It's just like a cheap controller. It really does seem like a cheap controller. I don't know if the whole creation of this was to save money. I mean, considering what you get with Xbox Live and the microtransactions of Forza, it's like Microsoft's doing whatever they can to make money, and this controller definitely does feel cheap. It doesn't have a 3.5 audio jack. It's proprietary. Unfortunately, you can't use just any headset like you can on a DualShock 4. And it does have a cable here. So with this, you can plug it in to use a wired controller, but it does not charge. You have to pay $25 just to be able to charge. It comes with 2 AA batteries, like this is $19.99, or a Wii. And once they're dead, you just have to plug in a cable until you buy new batteries. With the DualShock 4, if it lets me know what the power level is, and I can just plug it in and let it charge. I was even, when this died, I used the PS4 cable included with the PS4 to plug this bad boy in to use it. So in the end, I gotta say, coming from the 360 being like the greatest controller ever, this is definitely a step back. I don't know what they were thinking. They got the tops of the thumbsticks down perfect. They are perfect. I wish they were on the DualShock 4. I really do. But other than that, it's just weak. I don't know what Microsoft did with that. So I gotta say, DualShock 4 reigns supreme. This is the controller of this generation. If Microsoft decides to innovate a bit more, maybe they can come out with like some hardware did in the past, revisions of controllers, and maybe Microsoft can work on that. But if you came from the 360 and love the 360 controller, you will actually like this more. The backs feel more like a 360 controller. It really does. Everything is solid. It feels like a solid piece of hardware. It doesn't have that hollow sound. Yeah, there's probably something else I missed, but that is it for that. Thanks for tuning in.